Welcome, welcome, welcome. Peace. Yeah, it is Pro Pittman. We are back on 251 Talk Radio with another episode 46 of Men's Mental Health Monday with Venie the Great. How you doing, family?
What's happening?
How you
How
doing?
y'all
Everything good
feeling
with
out
you?
there?
Yes, sir.
I wish it was, but it really ain't. We'll get into
Another.
that later.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into it. We're happy to be back here on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and as well as live on stereo. Make sure you follow us on stereo at Pro Pittman and Venie the Great to hear our show live and uncut and have the availability to leave us messages and was us to respond to them live on the show. So thank you guys so much for being here. We are definitely in the building. Man's Mental Health Monday. We're getting close to Christmas. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. The holiday season is upon us, which could come with its pluses and minuses, for sure. We're going to get into the show, though, guys. I am Pro Pittman. This is Venie the Great. Thank you so much for listening. We are here once again with Men's Mental Health. You did. Before we get into any topics or whatever the case, how you feeling today, bro?
Um, not so good.
What's
Not
the
so
what's
good.
what's the science?
Well, I don't know. For some reason, I got bad juju all around me, and I don't know why.
Mm.
um, let's just say my cell phone service got cut off for $8.61.
Oh wow.
So now I have to pay $20 because I didn't pay $8 about 20 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, usually when something like that happens, you get like, a phone call or an email or anything. No, 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 just cut my shit off. So
Mm.
that's been a whirlwind of just like, okay, what happened? And then like when they cut your service off, now listen to this. You can't even talk to somebody to help you. I have to like
Mm-hmm.
wait to call somebody so they can take this manual override off over
All
eight
right.
dollars. Over $8, dude. And I just had something like similar happen just like a couple weeks ago over like 33 cents. So it's just
Jeez.
like I
Damn.
don't know. I was like, I don't know if these big companies are just hurting for, $8.33. So
Hell no.
but it's just a big inconvenience and I can't call none of my friends like I want to or anything. And then I had a hard day at work because it's the first Monday of the month, and yeah, man, and it feels like when one chip falls, they all. So
True indeed. True indeed. Yeah, I was gonna ask if you had to work today too. I know. Adding that all into it, was your phone off when you had to go to work?
it didn't. I think I was at work. I got like a text message at 11 o'clock. Your service is interrupted. I was like, well, shit, I
Mm-mm.
didn't even get a warning.
Mm.
And then I looked, and it said $8 and something. I was like, what? And I was like, now listen to this. They automatically take it on the 15th every month.
Right.
So just please make it make sense because I don't. So
I feel you. I totally understand, bro. Yeah, the small inconveniences too, especially when we get into a flow. I mean, it's honestly hard to get in and stay in the flow lately because it's just all the outside interference, that one deals with on a daily basis. I don't know. I'm not saying we expect to have some type of peace, but I know we work to be able to obtain some, and we damn sure deserve it, So it's hard when you got outside interference, getting into the natural flow of things, man, because the
I
inside interference is already enough, itself for real.
I think the big thing for me is harvesting my anger because all these things make me really angry. Like right now, I'm like big hawk inside. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
how I feel. Like I'm ready to go, Hulk smash and go crazy. But then I use my coping stuff like counting to 20 or counting backwards from 20, stuff like that. Work on my breathing. Thank God for trees. All that stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Gotta have the gas. I hear that. 93 premium, guys. No 87. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm
We
right there
like the
with you, bro.
flex
You
fuel.
know what I'm saying? I'm right there with you. Gotta have the diesel on deck. No, it's small reprieves that we get. I mean, trying to balance everything going on and trying to find a way to just to get our peace inside of it all. You know, balancing the many responsibilities of a father that has to work, you know, a husband that has to be there and love, you know, a father that has to take his children to different types of events, after school programs. You know, there's a small little window of time that you need for yourself when truly we could use hours probably for ourselves. There's things that I need to do for myself for
Yes.
our self-care that I would need a whole day to truly get done. You know, when I'm trying to squeeze in all these things in these small pockets of time every day.
Yeah.
I want to exercise. I want to read. I want to, I want to meditate, or I want to, play the game, whatever it is, because that's a form of meditation in itself. Honestly,
Yeah.
sitting back, relax
Mhm.
on the game. But we don't have like the block of time we used to have. Like back in the day when we were kids, it's like not even when we were kids. When I was younger, I could sit up all night to do so. I could play the game till 4 in the morning if I needed to, or sit back and just cut out this time to do as much as I needed all day. And now, throughout what the life I've set up for myself, which is what I want. I'm not saying I don't want this, but it's still a reality that the time that we have to give to ourselves is really is rare, unless you're waking up 2 hours earlier, going to sleep 2 hours later, which is possible, if your body can handle it. But it's a lot of situations that just keep you from getting the reprieves that we truly need. And then we make ourselves feel bad for wanting them and for needing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, let me get, I should be doing something else when you're literally trying to work
Yeah.
on yourself and your peace. I mean, it's great. Everything else is handled. Bills are paid. My house is good. My car drives. My
For
family's happy. But
sure.
damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's there's that time in between that it's necessary, man. We definitely got to find it. And then you add in the weather that we're dealing with right now. It's like you don't want to even go take it. Like
Mm-mm.
you know what I'm saying? You don't
Not
want
at
to go
all.
do the things that it would take to set this up, or go out the crib. It's a lot, man. But it's still necessary that we need it. I'm right there with you in certain ways for sure.
I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing that men battle with, and I don't know if it's just me, but I really think that this is in a lot of people, is that like big shit that you should probably be sad and disappointed about,
Hmm.
you don't get disappointed about. But let something small like Verizon cutting your phone off for $8, and then all of a sudden the world is ending. So it's like, so I
Real
think
talk.
the big thing for us is to, you know, let's not get numb to these big things. We have to deal with them in some shape or form, because then the littlest thing can set you off, and that littlest thing may not even be have anything to do with what you're really going through. You know what I mean? Like, it could be an innocent bystander. Like, I could go over Pro House, and we're not. He don't know nothing about my Verizon bill, and I'm like, man, shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
just got some unhoned energy that, you know what I'm saying, that shouldn't even go towards you, but it's all going towards you just because I'm going through something right now. So I think we need to stop being numb to the big things that happen in our life. You know what I
True
mean?
indeed.
Because we use a lot of niggas like, oh, you know what? It don't matter. I'll just think about it later. Or da, da, da. And then guess what? Then all these small little events are happening before you think about it later, and then boom, now it's the worst day ever.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's definitely the organization of what you're going through and trying to deal with it instead of putting it on people. You know what I mean? Because I know my dad and my wife, they get a lot of bullshit out of me, even though they're not even involved. So
hmm. I understand. Yeah, trying to and trying to balance the reality of knowing that you're like that and the 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 truth of just being human. You know what I'm saying? Like it's self-awareness though, and a huge thing I always got to commend you on is you have the self-awareness completely intact, that who you are and how you may or may not affect other people with your energy. And I can safely say you're very good at honing that in and
appreciate
recycling it into good energy and bringing it back out in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Like I could take a lot of cues from you in that. I won't push my negative energy out, but I'll shut down. You know what I'm saying? And
that. Hmm.
you'll actively try to build back. Like reboot, as opposed to being okay with shutting down. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you want to reboot. You don't want to be shut down. And that's just
Well, think about how many times somebody needed you. Like I'm over here tripping about a cell phone, but what if somebody tripping over something else that's like way bigger than the issue I
Right.
have? I
Right.
have to hone in my energy just so I can uplift you. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you one day, so I need you to be positive too. You know what I mean? So it all takes like us realizing in ourselves that okay, maybe this person is going. My guy is going through way more right now than I am. Maybe I just need to be here there for him, and then my shit can get talked about later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. That goes into the topic of what I wanted to speak about today, the idea of responding versus reacting. These bits and notes that I'll be speaking on comes from the book The Masculine in Relationship, a blueprint for inspiring the trust, lust, and devotion of a strong woman by C.S. Youngblood. I recommend all men out here nowadays, think about these things, or if anything, get this book and read it for yourself, especially if you're having issues in your relationship or you may have lost the past relationship and you don't want it to happen again. But it's things that I've been taught about the idea of masculinity in this new age, because it's different to be a masculine man in 2022, 2023. The idea of what roles used to be, however they were pushed upon us, men and women, have all changed in our eyes. Yet there's still similar and old values that we all have grown up with that we still kind of want to push out and represent. So trying to find a balance between all that is hard. And a big part of it, one of the first ideas of the whole thing is how we respond to adversity, how we respond to threats, emotional distress, excuse me, having a strong core inside and being able to weather the storm and respond properly as opposed to reacting emotionally goes a huge way. I actually want to read a small excerpt from the book that speaks about this. Um, Reactivity is at the root of so many non-masculine behaviors, although not always in obvious ways. Consider for the moment the things you say, the way you move or gesture, your facial expressions, the way you react, the choices you make, the views you hold yourself and others, all when you're in a stressful or triggering situation. Do these actions arise out of your conscious, considered choice, or are they sometimes an unconscious reaction to external circumstances in your inner wounds? Now, before I continue, I can totally understand, inner wounds in past situations and trauma, which a lot of men don't like to even call it that. You know what I'm saying? We what's this that it's it's an issue or
True.
it's a whatever. No, you're fucking traumatized, famo. You've been dealing with trauma.
Yeah, bro.
Especially
You
brothers
like
from Go ahead.
like the trauma side. It's crazy how men don't realize that they're going through trauma.
Yeah,
That's
you don't see it as trauma,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you saying that just clicked in my mind. Like, damn, we don't even know that we go through traumatic experiences. We just go to the next day, like, boom. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, man. That was a real good point.
No, yeah, true indeed. And a lot of times we don't look at it as trauma that needs to be healed. We're used to dealing with trauma. Scar me up, put the scars on my back. I can handle it. Then
For sure.
then I take my shirt off and I see them and I remember the scars. I remember my stories and all that shit. All that shit, so it reminds you to be strong and to be, to weather the storm, to be fucking Mufasa, right? Well, he died. But anyways, yeah, well, he was betrayed. But anyways, that's a whole other cipher. But it reminds us to be warriors. And sometimes we don't think about the fact that them scars are still visible. They're not even fucking healed. No cocoa butter. You didn't go down to the store on
Nope.
West Court Street on East
No
State Street down there in
peroxide.
Rockford. You feel me? And grab that cocoa butter at the Jet Beauty Supply store. Same place I used to get my chains at back in the day. I had the bulldog with the shit on there.
The no limit
And,
tape.
and I was killing the boy with the chains went crazy back in the early 2000s, but I digress. You feel me? But anyways, it's these scars are still very much visible on us, and we think it makes us look tougher, it makes us look stronger, or it gives ourselves a sense of resolve. But the reality is, these are scars that we never once thought about actually healing. We just tucked the brunt, tucked the blow, wiped the blood off, and kept moving. You know what I'm saying? Like when we should actually work on healing trauma, whether that's going within oneself, finding some knowledge of self, and digging deep within yourself, going through therapy, couples therapy if you need to with a loved one you're with, whatever the case, re redoing the actual relationship you may have with a child, the child you have in your life. Maybe there's some things you've done wrong, and paths you've taken that have led to resentment and not even having the sense of comfortability, because we're at the age where we're having teenager children. My daughter's 14 now. You know what I'm saying? And those
Man.
relationships can definitely go awry if you don't let it. I'm definitely blessed that mine has not with her. You know what I'm saying? That she trusts me and listens to me. Um, but yeah, man, it's a lot of actions to it that we sometimes take emotionally when things bad happen to us, as opposed to responding accordingly to the way that we want to respond. The man that we want to be inside, the man that we have been working on being. Sometimes things get us out of our character. As the 5% say, they take you off your square. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be
So
taken off your square at all times. You know what I'm saying?
so
And these
I
things
do got a
happen and we respond.
I do
Hmm.
got a question. And I
What's that?
do you think, and just gay men in
Hmm.
general, um, with coming out and now like the whole movement isn't so like foreign, and you're not like, I'm not saying you don't get discriminated against, but it's more open to gay men now. Do you think with them, you know, being gay, and I say they're more in touch with their feelings too, do you think that helps us as men to come and talk about the issues that we have?
Because being gay is more mainstream now. Hmm.
Yes,
Well, I
because
think that I, yeah, go
coming
ahead.
out coming out is like one of the hardest things, especially as a man. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Because of how, just think about growing up. Like, when I was a kid, it was like almost a sin to be gay. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And
Hmm.
now we're in a in a
It's
world
celebrated.
now that it's
It's almost
celebrated and it's
celebrated. Yeah,
accepted.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm all for it too. But I'm just saying, far as the mental health part of it, do you think
Mm.
when a man that's really struggling, that's straight, sees a gay man come out and is open with his struggles, do you think that helps that person? Or
I don't know.
you see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like, because I
Yeah,
feel like ever since the gay is so this it's so mainstream now. I feel like now men have started to open up a little bit more about how they feel.
yeah. I see two sides to it. The first side is that because homosexuality has been celebrated and has not been made, passe or like niche in a sense. It's almost mainstream. I think that's better for the overall world because it gives the idea that, men can be men in every form, gay,
Yes.
straight, however they want to act, effeminate, tough, strong, whatever, however you want to be. Every man is, able to be that. I used to call us, black men. We had to have the BET schedule. I said back in the day, we had to be like BET man. We couldn't act like any, like I'm from the Midwest. I'm from, southern Illinois, sorry, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, close to Chicago. And when I was growing up in Rockford, Illinois, I couldn't even say the word awesome. I couldn't even say things
Yeah.
like that. And,
Yeah.
late 90s, early 2000s, niggas was, what the fuck? Is you acting white or whatever the case? We were
Weird.
boxed in to this BT code of how we had to act. 50 Cent, we all had to be like 50. We all had to be gangsters. When Jeezy came out, we all had to be hustlers. You couldn't be nothing alternative. When I started playing guitar in 2007, 8, I had a whole issue in the hood where people was like, the fuck is going on with Pro? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was trying to break out of what life made me be. And I love, my black culture of men and our music and everything, but still we were molded by BT and other things to feel like this is what the mode of a black man is, right? So I think homosexuality being out and open, it's another part of letting men be themselves. And if there's more effeminate men out there, maybe they can help, because not all gay dude are, most gay guys are not sexually aggressive gay guys. I know some gay dudes who
No.
who are. It's all fun and games, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? Until it's not fun and games with them. But I digress. But most gay dudes don't want you per se, right? So, but
Right.
but let's say you have them in your circle still, your workplace. You know what I'm saying? Your environments and places where they have felt way more and more comfortable being themselves. That gives you more exposure to these people. Gives you more exposure to other cultures, and it makes it easier for you to
Yeah.
have these conversations, and maybe it can help you lighten up, or help you, not you per se, but help another man
Exactly.
lighten up or come to grips with his prejudice of homosexuality himself. Now, on the flip side, though, there's the homosexual agenda I feel being pushed on black men, which is it's
Oh
nothing
yeah,
new.
for sure,
You know what I'm saying?
for
Nothing
sure,
new at all.
for sure.
And
As far as
especially
the
in
prison shit, yeah, oh for sure.
prisons, movies, but
Movies, all that shit.
in our generation, it's been hip hop that they've
Hip
tried to
hop,
do
yeah,
it
for
with.
sure.
You know, they tried to
Hmm.
completely take out the tough man who can run his household
Well,
and will punch you in the face if you mess with him.
you
They
got
don't want that no more. They want the
you
effeminate
got
man with tight jeans and a purse on who you
yeah.
feel you can push around. You know what I'm
You
saying?
got to
You
talk
know,
about
like,
them actors too, though. You got to talk about the actors too, man, because
oh,
how many
true indeed.
strong black men have put on that dress? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I said
So,
earlier. Like that's a whole other cipher. That I think that's known, in the black culture.
hmm
Well, I mean, black folks still don't know about that shit. The parties in Atlanta, but I digress.
yeah, for
But
sure.
you feel me? But um, um, I just think we need to have a hold on what exposure we're allowing into not even just our kids, ourselves. Because motherfuckers be like, "What
Ourselves,
about
yes,
the kids?
sir.
What about the kids?" Man, grown ass people can be influenced too. Grown ass men can be
Yep,
influenced by social
yep.
media and by ads the same way a child can. And it's just about will of mind and what strength you built up within yourself through this time. But for these kids, it's everything's so fluid with them. Will we have a generation of strong male leaders? Will in 20 years, will these men, be strong enough to handle adversity in times of peace and times of war? Everything's sweet right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different. So I'm just hoping that us as men are able to lead our young men to find that balance that they need between being strong and masculine and also being themselves, letting that come out of them naturally. And if it's not there, don't push it because someone else is making you feel bad for being your fucking self. We don't all have to be gangsters. You feel me? So it's just two sides to it. And us here in the Midwest, we see a lot of it, the differences and the hood and not the hood and the tough guys and not the tough guys, and then the women that speak to them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these chicks don't even talk
For
to other
sure.
brothers because they just, think they're squares or whatever the case.
Man,
And then there's a whole issue of us dating white women and all this it's a whole story, you know what I'm saying? That comes along with these things that men are insecure and don't know how to act and don't know how to be themselves. And society is not helping right now. And so hopefully we can do our part here, at 251 Talk Radio, Men's Mental Health Monday here on Stereo with Pro Pittman and Venie The Great. Hopefully we can do our part, just to push some type of understanding and semblance into the air. We are here every Monday here on Stereo, guys. Make sure you follow us on Spotify as well, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcast, Google Podcasts, and as well as Apple Podcasts. I almost had them all in my head right then and there. We're everywhere, guys. So make sure you go follow us. You
like
get in
her
tune. You feel me?
on AFM.
Once again, I am Pro Pittman. This is Venie The Great, my partner in peace, not my partner in crime. This is Men's Mental Health Monday, recorded live here on Stereo. Make sure you follow us here on Stereo and get the opportunity to become a super fan, send donations, chats, get access to fan-only shows, as well as leave messages inside of the podcast, which we can play and respond to live on air. So once again, we do appreciate you guys being here. We are having episode 46 of Men's Mental
46.
Health Monday. You feel me? Fuck going on. That new solo coming out. That's all. That's for the House of Hip Hop. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on the House of Hip Hop. We got to get you on the panel, G. We got to get you on the panel one of these Tuesday nights, man. Hop in with
Man,
us, talk
y'all,
this shit
y'all
with us,
do
bro.
not want me on that panel.
It'd be great. We would love your anti Eminem sentiment. Your
Exactly.
prejudice.
I'll be
Me
coming in
and
here with my Mac Miller shit.
me and
And
Rashad respect all things that is
hey,
hip hop. So
can I tell you something though, man?
what's the
Like
word?
just having the conversation and having that dialogue, bro. That's part of men's mental health too, man.
Yeah,
How many people do we get to talk to in a day about hip hop?
true. The
You know what I
barbershop
mean?
conversation. Yeah, you don't. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen anymore. Yeah, niggas ain't at the barbershop no more. Niggas, for real. I mean, whatever the case,
And
But
I
no, it's
sure am
important,
at the
man.
hair salon. I got dreads. And them
Why
niggas
you
cutting
call it the
that.
hair salon, G? Why you call it? It's still a barbershop when a girl does hair there. You ain't going to a
Man, salon. That's for real. I'm sitting next to Keisha getting her shit done. So
hey,
it's a salon.
I can't fuck with you, G. Hey, fuck Greg. Still gotta get that line in though, so you gotta go across town and get that line and get fresh up. I'm saying? But I
Get a little
digress.
$20, and they want
You
about
feel me?
$30 for that. What's going on with
And they
these prices, bro?
tweak it. You see, niggas, man, these NBA barbers want 300. They want 500. 500 for the cut. You feel me? So, but we're gonna get back to the show. I got to get a line of this Friday. We're going to get back to the show, guys. I am Pro Pim. This is Venie The Great. This is Men's Mental Health
Hey,
Monday. So the idea we were speaking about earlier, responding versus reacting, I want to continue with a quick passage. Consider these questions that we spoke about in context of your intimate relationships. For example, how do you respond when your partner is angry and verbally attacking you? Between work situations, for example, how you operate in a contentious meeting, and even the most, trivial interactions, such as how you walk through a crosswalk, or the phone company tweaking. You know what I'm saying? In the face of stimulus, in any of these situations, you either take in the information, make a choice, and consciously respond, or you react unconsciously based on the habit or the fight or flight instincts. So fight or flight instincts or habits will make us respond unconsciously, as opposed to making the choice from what we gather and then consciously responding. There's a palpable difference between the two, and the people around you can feel it. The strong man considers his choice. The weak man spends his life frantically reacting to the world around him. You feel me? And that's that sentiment really hit me deep when I first, got to that section in this book I'm reading. It's the truth, and I took anger management when I was younger. I caught a case, a battery case, and you get into a fight period in Illinois, you got to do anger management. You can just get into a high school fight, anger management. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have an anger problem per se anymore. I'm really happy that I'm able to contain it. I deal with depression, you know what I'm saying, and sometimes anxiety. Not a lot, but definitely depression since I was 15. But I digress. Anger management that I took, one of the stories he told us was about his daughter, the guy who was running the anger management course. And I took away things from that course to this day I still use. So I'm happy I went through those 3 Saturdays, you know what I'm saying? The community service I had to do with the whole of the story, but I digress. Um, Fuck around, and he said that his kid threw something at him one day. It was threw a controller or a ball, and it hit him in the face. And he immediately wanted to, respond and get the ball and maybe launch it back at the kid, or take the kid and hit him with punt him out the fucking window, right? Sometimes you want to when a kid does something crazy, but you got to realize right there, hold on, wait, whoa, calm myself down. Let me react accordingly to how I truly feel about life. And that's an extreme situation, something that I dealt with personally in the situation I was in. But it could be universal, in everything, especially in relationships. Because most times the woman that we're with, or man, depending on, your preference, whatever the case, but the significant other who was upset at that moment won't always be thinking completely rationally. There'll be some emotion involved in the reason that they're angry at you. So it takes for you to take that in, compute it, and then respond accordingly to the outcome that you want. Not an outcome you want to manipulate, not an outcome that you think you deserve, the outcome that you want for the other person. It's very simple, because these are quick, split second decisions. You don't have I'm not gonna, when you yell at me, stop for 10 seconds and then respond. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna actually, these are back and forth conversations, quick. So your mind has to be really quick in these things, but you still have to train yourself, especially with a loved one, to take this information and respond accordingly to how you feel, to the love you have for this person, as opposed to reacting emotionally, which could damage the situation and therefore damage your relationship further. And it may sound real small and trivial, but that idea alone, responding versus reacting, can change a whole load of problems if you have a problem with the other. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should all work
it's
on the idea of responding versus reacting. You feel me?
yeah, it's a hard thing to juggle, especially
Absolutely.
when you're in a relationship and
In the moment, for sure. Yeah.
like in that moment, like a lot of things that we have to teach ourselves is, hey, maybe you don't need to be with that toxic person.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And a lot of people don't understand that, like, love can jumble your what I like to say, your good decision making. Like, if you love somebody, I mean, you will pretty much do everything against your word that you said, hey, I'm not going to bow down to this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to accept this. But then you love this person. So you did accept this and you did accept that. So now you're in a toxic state because you're not happy. And now you're arguing all the time. Now you got to realize that, I got to take these breaks. I'm getting mad. I just want to keep going back at her or him. Or, now it's like, oh, it's getting physical. Like, okay, so when do you tell yourself to leave?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you
And
wait
and
till
that
it's too
goes with
late? So like,
and that goes with friends too. You can have friends that
for sure,
feel that mark as well. Work employees, a boss, any type of thing, you know what I'm saying, to where it's just the communication does not flow properly because somebody is reacting emotionally as opposed to responding accordingly. And finding the for one, I mean, hopefully you're not already locked in relationships like marriage or whatever with a person that you
for
realize is
sure.
bad now. That's a whole other conversation. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that, but
Like,
that's, but that, but that's the part of not realizing that you need to not be with this toxic person. A lot of people stay because we built this or we did this or because of the kids. It has nothing to do because of the person that you're with. It has everything to do because of what you built around that person, but not with that
mhm,
person. Because you're
right,
still gonna have that resentment. And you're still gonna keep getting into it because you hold that shit in. Like if
right,
you know that you can't get along with somebody, you gotta train yourself to be like, okay, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I was in relationships where I argued every fucking day. I had something
mhm,
to worry about, so and then I did not like the person I became, so I left. And then the chick clowned me. It was like, "Oh, you leaving me? I should have left you a long time ago." The whole time, now somebody else gets to deal with your crazy ass. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Like, so I mean, not saying that I wasn't a little crazy too, but it's just like, dang man, like you got a person that's not willing to deal or accept their part in it. You know what I mean? And you're fully aware of anger and you're fully aware of how you are. Like you got to know when to tell yourself, like, hey, this ain't for me because this person ain't gonna work on themselves. This person
mhm,
ain't gonna try to get better. This person's gonna bring the worst out of me. So that's
right,
when you got to tell yourself, hey, this is it. I can't do this.
right. And hopefully a person can come to that conclusion, like, by responding to how they truly feel, as opposed
For
to
sure.
reacting in a situation and being pissed off and leaving. Because there's two
Exactly.
sides of that. You know what I'm saying? You can get someone who's completely reactive and do what you said and go, fuck you, and I'm leaving, and then come back the next day like a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? And then you can get a man who can respond accordingly to what's going on and either deal and build with his woman if he actually wants to be with her, or make the responsible decision to actually leave properly. We're talking about two different men here. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in
Uh-huh.
situations personally. So it just depends on how you actually go about things. And that's a good point, of how the difference can be. Like, there's differences in how we can respond and react. So let's say a reactive man, gets defensive when verbally attacked. He frantically tries to correct the facts in other people's minds because he cannot tolerate being judged as bad or wrong. He interprets the other person as, and desperately tries to make his case so the other person won't be angry anymore. But a man who responds does not need to explain or defend. He holds space for the other's intentions emotionally and waits for them to finish before speaking. He acknowledges their feelings, may or may not choose to calmly correct a few facts and apologize if needed, and then move forward. You know what I'm saying? A reactive man withholds or changes his opinion in order to not conflict with others. He intensely or subtly fears angering others because he thinks he leads to rejection. But a man who responds speaks the truth. He respects others' viewpoints, but feels comfortable with differences in opinions or methods. So it's about the man we're dealing with here. What man do we want to be, right? What man do we deal with on a daily basis? It's all about recognizing these people as you go past them. At the same time, hoping you can, the loved ones you have, if they're on a low vibration or a low level of this shit, help build them up. Tell these motherfuckers like, yo, bro, you do, this is what I think you're doing wrong. Not even what you're doing wrong. These have worked for me. I want you to be a better man too. That's something we don't. Our loved ones, family members. I got cousins who, never, want to talk about their feelings. You know what I'm saying?
No, never.
You feel me? Especially with family. So trying to find a way just to be the man that we want to be and not pushing on others, and still lead by example is fucking hard. But all we can do is work on ourselves. The knowledge of self is self knowledge, not being selfish. It's being selfless. It's understanding that let me go inside and fix myself to every degree. And that could be a lifelong fucking journey or a project to get you where you want to be. Not the perfect version of yourself, but the version that is working to the best of its ability. by cutting everything out, like you said, cutting the wrong people out, cutting bad foods out, cutting health unhealthy diets out, whether it's social media, whatever the getting rid of that shit, building or destroying the whole idea of what you need and what you don't need, and then you're gonna find a truth in who you are. That's today's supreme mathematics, is power, which is truth. You know what I'm saying? The true version of yourself that you realize that you are, that you've worked towards being because you took the steps to being there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're trying to do here, is just work on steps that we can take day by day, whether it's week by week, Monday by Monday. You know what I'm saying? That means you can have conversations, and hopefully, anyone that's around who listens to these later on can find some understanding on and realize that, Michael Jackson song, "You Are Not Alone." You feel me? So, speaking of
Yeah.
that, shouts out to everybody who are listening to us on stereo. FNG, what to do, family? I see you out there, family. Number love to you, bro, for being here.
Yeah,
So hope you
appreciate you.
hope you're having a good day. You know what I'm saying? You on top of yourself. You doing what needs to be done to be the best version of yourself, family. So number love to you for being here. Once again, this is Pro Pivot and Venie the Great, Men's Mental Health Monday. Yeah. We are here on episode 46, speaking about responding versus reacting, balance, and all things that go into making a strong man mentally. You know what I'm saying? I feel,
It's all a process.
absolutely. Yeah, that's all I'm about to say.
It's
Yep,
all a process.
as long as you're actually going through the process, as long as you're not ignoring it. That's my main thing. That was some of the beginning factors what we spoke about, is not ignoring the process. Just go with it. At least, realize it's there. And for the sake of the loved ones you have, for the sake of yourself, go through the process. Get yourself where you need to be. You'll be better off for it, because you need to lead, bro. You need to lead. Shit. Motherfuckers don't expect you out here to be a follower.
Mm-hmm.
We need you to lead. And if anything, lead your household. That's all a strong man should have to do in the first place. You don't have to be a government official, a coach on a team, a clubhouse member, a gang leader, whatever the case. Leading is the main idea of leading, to me, is our families, our household. You the king of that household. You the coach of that household. Hopefully, in your relationship that you work to be that. That's a whole other podcast. You know what I'm saying? But once you come to the point of realizing that's my goal, reach it, by doing what it takes to keep your mental health intact and strong. You feel me? Once
And there's
again,
so many ways.
True indeed.
There's so many ways. You know what I'm saying? You can come here. Like I said, we start every Monday at 1:30. Come have a conversation. Come let that energy out. Like I said, man, when it comes to leading, obviously our mentals got to be, focused. I can't say it can be healed, because we just got to be focused.
True.
None of this can be healed, man. I got anger issues every day, not just today, not just tomorrow, not just last week. It's every day.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Most of the time it's on chill mode, but I still have to deal with it. So just stay focused at the task ahead and do whatever you need to do to keep that focus and maintain that focus. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real out here, real deal. Especially being an adult, especially being a man. I couldn't imagine being like a gay black man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, stand on your square, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we going through it too.
True
Straight
indeed.
up.
True indeed. Know that Men's Mental Health Monday is a safe space, a safe cipher for people to come in and have this conversation, whether you're listening passively or you're actively interacting with us here on stereo, and joining the conversation. We do this for you guys. We are on episode 46, Culture Equality, and we would love to, keep this going and push us out. We are nearing episode 50. You know what I'm saying? The power cipher. And I'm really excited about the idea that for 50 Mondays, we have had this conversation, and how, the waves and that we're putting out in the air may only be small and trickling, like, the water, like Bruce Lee, but they're making waves, bro. And someone else is hearing this, and someone else is getting the best version of themselves out of what we may have, helped them out with. So I'm happy that we're able to do that, for sure. And we're happy you guys are here with us,
Yes.
during this conversation, yo, 100%, bro, for real.
And I heard that you was excited for episode 50, man. I'm excited for this next episode, because 47 means something to me. So
Okay,
can't
true
wait
indeed.
for episode 47.
Well, we'll talk about
Peace
it.
and balance.
We'll continue this conversation of responding versus reacting next week. I think there's a lot more we can speak about. This is not
Oh,
definitely
for
just
sure.
our conversation. I want
For
to continue
sure.
this conversation next week. For those who are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Radio, wherever you are, we thank you so much for checking out 251 Talk Radio. My brother Venie the Great, thank you as well for taking your time out of your busy schedule on these Mondays to
No
have these
doubt.
conversations with me and help us both find some semblance and understanding and some peace in this life. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate
Hey,
you as always. Once again, I am
love,
Pro
famo.
Pittman. You always, brother. This is Venie the Great. Check me out on 251 Talk Radio doing our Pros Pro Wrestling podcast.
Yeah,
Double P.
check that out.
WS, where we talk about WWE and AEW programming, pay per views, and
Yeah,
PLEs included.
where they talk about how bad Ronda Rousey is.
Yeah, that is a topic sometimes we have to speak about, unfortunately. But make sure you guys come through the House of Hip Hop as well on Rashad Radio's platform next week, every other Tuesday here on Stereo as well as Spotify. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here and for all the support on these shows. Make sure you share this to someone who may need some understanding, who may not want to be in a room and a whole bunch of other dudes, but may want to sit quietly and listen. So you guys are awesome. As always, we start these shows and we end these shows with nothing but a big old peace.